Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Britton's Hangout Hour, episode 115. I am here today with Jake from Nerd Level Rising, which just gotta give a clap there. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, dude. Thank you so much for having me on. I feel like I'm like a real booktuber now that I am interacting face to face with the legendary Britton over here. So this is
Thanks.
cool.
I didn't know I was legendary. I only have,
Yeah, man. Everybody knows you. It's
more as
I
like
see
a
you in
more
like
as like a
all
more
the
as like a
streams.
cult channel that are like all the booktubers are like, oh yeah, that Britton guy, he's pretty
Everybody
cool.
knows. Yeah, it's like Slay, right? Everybody knows, and if you're in the group, then it's like, oh, I made it, right? So,
Yeah, no, I was actually talking with Slay last night. So he's doing pretty good. Apparently he's reading the Mittens new book. Or
yes.
that book they're putting out called Discovery, I think.
Mhm, mhm.
So
I'm very
yeah.
excited. I hear great things, man.
Yeah, but how are you today? I forgot to ask you before we get
No,
into
man,
just kind
you're
of
good. Yeah.
talking and hanging out for a bit.
Yeah, it's I'm good, man. It's life is busy.
I know
We
what you mean.
we're talking just a touch right before we started about school stuff. Like the semester's just starting again, right?
Same
So
here. Yeah, mine just
it
started
is.
yesterday.
There you go. Yeah. So all the madness of the new semester starting. And I'm kind of in a place like I don't take classes anymore, but I teach a class, and then all the whatever data collection stuff for my big project, and so it's just all that is just feels like there's a million moving parts, and I'm trying to find new research participants and get them scheduled, and it's just a lot of stuff all at once, so a little stressed, but it's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, luckily it's the first week, so they're not going to throw a bunch of crazy stuff at you right away. At least
Yeah,
in theory they usually don't.
in
So,
theory. Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good, It's
Good, man.
I went to a class called poetry writing today, which is pretty cool. I don't write a lot of
Cool.
poetry except for like late night and I'll just crank something out, but
Sure.
it's not something I do very often.
Yeah,
But should be an interesting class.
that's cool. Yeah, that'll be fun. Do you how many do you just have the one writing class, or do you have like multiple?
I have one this semester. I have two. I'm doing a. Funnily enough, I'm doing a podcast class. So,
Oh, that's cool.
um,
That's
and
crazy that that's an actual class that they offer.
yeah,
How
like
cool is that?
our teacher yesterday was like, yeah, you can literally just turn this into a career if you wanted to. Like, you could just like sit in your house and do it. And I'm like,
That's
that's
crazy.
awesome.
What degree is this for?
What?
What degree is this for?
Oh, professional media, or in other words,
Oh,
journalism and
that's pretty
broadcasting,
cool.
which
Wow.
is more diverse than you'd think. It's, you learn a lot about writing, of course, but you also learn about, using cameras and filming
Mhm.
stuff and lighting, all sorts of fun stuff.
Interesting.
I worked at my local, we have a little television set at my college, so I've been working there. Or, well, I worked there
Awesome.
last semester, sorry. And it was a
Yeah,
lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
cool. Yeah, good experience too, I imagine, right? You learn some skills and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I learned I actually liked working at a news station, operating a camera or something. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
it's
at
good to
least
know.
I liked the people I was working with. Yeah, I don't know if it would be the same thing if I like,
Sure.
worked at one, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But um yeah, I mainly like focus on writing because that's usually what I'm good at. But I've done other things as well. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing.
Cool.
What do you do? You said you're working for a PhD. Like, what are you teaching for?
Yeah. It's the exercise science department, which is kind of similar to that. It's more broad than it sounds, right? That there's a lot of stuff that's anatomy. There's a lot of stuff that's like your the neurological system, and then there's like the endocrine system, and like whatever. There's a bunch of stuff, right? The class that I teach is supposed to be it's called Applications of Training Physiology. So it sounds really fancy, but it's basically like you took this anatomy class and you took this physiology class. How do we take what you learned there and turn it into like how do I actually write a workout program for somebody based on whatever goal that they have?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the class is supposed to be. And so me, who I don't care about cardio, I don't, like it's just not my thing. I'm not a runner. I'm not, I'm not an athlete. I just want to lift weights. So I'm like, okay, that's what this class is going to be now. We're just going to talk about lifting weights. That's literally what I did. And it's super fun to teach. And a lot of the students really dig it because they don't, you don't get that in a normal class usually, right? And then, for me to teach, people kind of relate to me more anyway because I'm close to their age, and so that's always kind of helpful when your teacher's a little bit younger, just easier to relate to. But I also like, this is like my job also, right? Like I do personal training, I do research in lifting weights, and like so it's all tied together, and they seem to enjoy it, which is so much better, dude. When the students don't care, it's like, as the teacher, it's brutal, man. Like it's so awkward and just weird. But when they're
Yeah,
engaged,
that's
it's fun.
kind of. I have thought about teaching myself for a little while. Sorry.
Mhm.
Um, I thought about teaching myself for a little while, but I'm like, well, I have the patience to like sit around and like try to teach people. Sometimes maybe they don't want to be taught, but here I am.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
didn't
there
I
you
didn't
go.
go teaching. So I'm probably not gonna do that.
Yeah,
But
it's like it's funny, man. Like I enjoy it,
a
but
friend of
I
mine
enjoy
who is a teacher, he actually was my teacher at one point. We became friends, and we still talk now. And he's like, "Yeah, you have to be like on like all the time."
yes.
And I'm like, "All right, I don't know if I can do
Yeah.
like."
Uh,
I mean, it's kind of funny because like I don't. Do you watch Alan from Alexandria?
yeah. Yeah.
You know who he is? Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've kind of I'm often reminded of myself when I watch him, and I'm like, man, I don't know how he teaches.
Yeah,
Because
it's
we're very similar. He's like, I like my like space and relax and have a good time. Like I like having my like, I like having free time, right?
yes.
I'm the same way. I don't know if I can be on all the time, but he makes it work.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've definitely had to fake it plenty of days where I'm just not in the mood, but like you gotta, you gotta pretend a little bit, and it can be exhausting. But when it's something that you really enjoy talking about, and the students feel like they're kind of interested, I'm like, okay, this is fun. I don't want to do it as a career by any means, but
So it's
it's
just like part of your, so it's part of
yeah,
your
it's
degree.
exactly, yeah, it's
I
part of
see.
the deal to help them pay for my tuition. So I will teach as much as you want me to teach if I get free tuition. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. But yeah. So it seems like you're a busy guy as well, from the sounds of it.
yeah, it's a little bit. It's busy, but it's a good busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's
keeps you
not.
occupied. I hear you.
Does, yeah, and it's all stuff I enjoy. And it'll, in theory, will all pay off in the future, right? That's the hope.
Yeah, my other class I'm taking, I forgot to mention, is it's called Capstone, but it's basically a portfolio class or it's basically like making a resume. So
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, heading there
I
tomorrow.
imagine.
The only downside is I have to wake up earlier in the morning. I freaking hate waking up early in the morning.
How
I'm I'm
early are we talking?
I'm kind of in the well. It's 8 o'clock, so there might be like some older people who be like, "I get up at 7, noob."
I get
But
up at 5, bro.
oh my
That's late for
god,
me. Yeah.
when do you go to bed, sir?
Like 9. Yeah,
Still like
it's
dark out there.
it's not my favorite, but it's the time I have to get to the university in the morning, and
Oh,
then it
okay.
takes me half an hour to drive there, and if I leave after a certain time, the traffic is horrendous, so it's a whole thing.
Yeah, my dad, he'll sometimes go like, Britton, sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do, and I'm like, you know what? Fine. So
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to it, but again, it's the first week, so it's
Sure.
gonna first week usually sucks just in terms of like getting up and getting into a new routine because that's the thing about college. Like you start getting into the rhythm of it, and then it's over, and then you have to do it again.
Yeah,
It's just like
that's exactly right.
I, I like my routines. I don't like deviating from those
Yeah,
routines.
same, same.
Um, that's just how it happens.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's cool. That class sounds really cool though, because then
No,
like
the class
you'll
is
have that
it's pretty
resume to
fun.
go apply. Yeah.
But podcast one's pretty fun though. I'm probably not going to be doing something like this because the guy's like, you're going to have to script it. And it's going to be like 30 minutes long, and I'm like,
Okay.
30 minutes long, like this sucks. But whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. Get through it.
I hope the teacher doesn't watch this. Though I am thinking about, I'm gonna wait a couple weeks for this, but I'm gonna be like, hey, I run a podcast on my YouTube channel. Here's
Yeah.
a shorter one. Would you like to watch it and like give some feedback and critiques?
It doesn't hurt, man. Doesn't
I'm
hurt.
like, it's not really scripted, and it's kind of just me bullshitting for a few minutes or for a couple hours. But
What's wrong with that?
but if you give critiques about things, I'd appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, man. Feedback's always good. Feedback's always good. Have you had anybody see, like, have they seen any of your videos at all, or is it all just very separate from what you're doing with the degree?
Generally, I don't talk about my YouTube channel on at school because it's like, and I don't know. I just don't bring it up for whatever reason. It's not like I'm
No, I get
against
it.
people. Now it's different with this teacher because it's a podcast class, but it's I generally I generally don't though. Not like against it. It's just kind of like, eh. But there's a couple of like personal friends of mine who know about this channel, so
Nice. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. It's always a funny, like how so many of us keep this secret. Like it's this like weird thing that we do on the weekend or whatever. But
Yeah,
it's like it's not weird at all, right?
no, it's just like. Also, I just don't know how to like explain it to somebody. It's kind of like,
I get
so
it.
what do
Yeah.
you talk about? And I'm like, I talk a lot about books and comics from time to time, and maybe even the occasional movie or video game if I feel
Yeah.
like it. And they're like, oh. And that usually means I don't understand it, but I don't want to be rude to you.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah,
That's how it
it's
goes.
that as well. Because like people sometimes ask, like, Britton, why don't you talk about your YouTube channel? I'm like, I don't know if people. It's very niche.
It
But I'm
is.
getting up there. My subscribers have been growing recently, which has been very
That's
nice.
awesome, man. Good for you. That's great.
I got to 500 last year, which that was my goal. It's at like 546 or 7 now, so it's pretty neat.
Beautiful. That's awesome,
Yeah.
man.
I recorded a video last night, which is just kind of like my reading wrap up. Though I don't call them that, I just call it what I read in December.
Mhm.
But it's basically a wrap up because I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here.
Yep.
And also, it's good for me to like keep track of what I was reading.
Yeah, that's always nice. That's always nice. Well, what have you been reading, dude? I'm interested. Let me know what's up. I haven't had much time to watch a whole lot of BookTube lately. I've been just slammed, so I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm really bad at keeping up with BookTube. Like, really, like the ones I watch John pretty religiously because I like watching his channel.
He's the best. He's the best.
I watch Philip Chase a lot, and my friend Raph. I watch him a lot because, Anyway, what am I reading? Well, I just started a book called The Broken Sword last night,
Okay.
which is it's actually a pretty old fantasy novel. It actually came out the same year as Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh wow, cool.
I'm digging it so far though. It's really neat. Kind of blend of like Norse and like fairy tales and like sword and sorcery. It's pretty fun so far. I'm enjoying it.
That's really
Um,
cool.
And the Yiddish Policemen's Union, which I started like a week ago, and I've just kept being distracted from reading it. Though it's basically like an alternate history detective story. So, I've just been kind of diving full in on speculative fiction again.
That's cool. You seem to have pretty wide taste in books from what I have seen. Like I'm very like give me epic fantasy or give me like some sci-fi. Like I'm pretty narrow in what I've read so far. Like not that I'm not open to more stuff, but it's just not what I've done. And
Yeah,
everything I've heard from you, you're all over the place.
if I read like one or two or three genres, which I mean, I have the genres I enjoy, but if I read like one or two, I'd probably burn out after a while. So, reading as much as I can. It's kind of a way to keep myself interested in doing BookTube,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Um, I mean, it's done wonders.
Hey, yeah.
I'm being
That's awesome.
sarcastic, of course.
But I mean, you
People are
gotta,
like, "What are these weird books he's talking about?" Like what's the broken sword?
I think it's cool. Like, I definitely want to move into doing some stuff that's like not everybody's talking about it. Um, like right now, I'm doing this read along for the Wars of Light and Shadow, and it's like I couldn't be more excited, but at the same time, everybody's talking about that series right now. So it's like it'd be nice to have something a little different. So I'm
Yeah,
trying to
I've seen
branch out.
the January thing kind of blow up. I'm about to start Malazan. Well, not
Yes.
about to because it's probably going to be in a few months, but I'm
Okay.
hoping to start it this year. Is what I'm getting at.
Amazing. Oh, it's one of my favorite things ever, dude. It's so good.
Yeah, I got it. I got Gardens of the Moon for Christmas. I got the airport edition. That's what I like to call these kind of
Nice. That's what
books.
I have also. Yeah.
Um, just hoping it's good because I'm kind of trying to be relaxed with it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna read the first book. If I like it, I'll keep going. If not,
Mhm.
we'll see.
That's all right. Life's too short, man. You can't
Yeah.
force yourself to read
Yeah.
stuff you don't like.
Yeah, but a lot of people are like, this is the greatest epic fantasy of all time. And I'm like, all right. I
Yeah.
I kind of doubt that, but we'll see. All right, I'll
See.
see.
We'll see. I like it. I've never actually sat down and ranked like what I think are the greatest or even like what my favorites are really, but it's up there for me for sure. I can't wait to reread it because I finished it. Was that it was like early 2024 or 2023 maybe. So it's been a year or two since I finished it, and
You
I
actually reached
immediately,
the end of the mythical
yeah,
quest that
I
is
did.
Malazan.
Yeah.
Must have been a very
Um,
long and arduous one.
it was indeed. It was a long journey, but it was so worth it. And the moment I closed the last book, I was like, I can't wait to reread this because there's going to be so much that I like. There's so much stuff that I'm sure that I missed or didn't understand fully, right? So I'm excited to go back through it at some point. I don't know when that'll be.
Yeah,
Someday.
yeah, I actually was at the bookstore earlier today. I didn't grab anything. I was just kind of wandering around because
Hmm. I do that sometimes.
I was killing time before class.
Hmm.
I saw the Black Company, which apparently Steven Erickson is a fan of, and he
Yeah.
actually did the foreword, so it's the Tour
Oh,
Essential one.
sweet. That's cool.
Um, so yeah, I haven't read the Black Company either. So
Me either. I would like to. I hear good things.
most of the people I've talked to who've read that series, like it, and it seems like something I would like in theory because it's not this gigantic epic thing, where you have to read like 11 books, which I mean, I'm trying not to. I mean, I'm gonna read Malazan, so I guess I shouldn't be talking about that. But
I mean, I think Black Company is like 10 books or something
oh,
like
is
that. It's
it?
pretty.
Oh,
They're short books though. I think
oh
they're
yeah,
like
okay, yeah.
3, 4, 500 pages. I
I was
think
about to
for
say
the
yeah,
most
they're
part.
they're more pulpy apparently, more
Hmm.
like sword and sorcery.
Yeah, which sounds cool. I definitely want to get into more like older stuff. Um, I've been reading a lot of things from like the 2000s
That's good
and
stuff.
onwards.
Like,
But like,
like Abercrombie's good. It took me a while. I
oh
didn't
yeah,
read Abercrombie till like 2022. I actually picked it up. I picked up
yeah, me
The
either.
Blade itself randomly at a bookstore, and I was like, okay, I hear a lot of people like this. I'll just pick this up and read it at some point. And then one day I was like, yeah, screw it. I'll just read this and see how it is. I'm not kidding. First like page, I was like, all right, I'm good to go. Let's see where
Yeah,
we go.
yeah. I loved it, man. I still have only. Have you read Beyond the first trilogy?
I have only read Best Served Cold in terms of beyond the first trilogy,
Okay,
but nothing else. Because I'll admit I was kind of getting burned out on Abercrombie after I finished Last Argument of
that's fair.
Kings.
That's fair. Yeah, I've only read that first trilogy, and I got to do more, man. It was so good, but it's just there's too much good stuff out there, dude. It's like
I
there's not
know,
enough time to read all the stuff. Ah,
I know. It's people are like, "Oh man, when are you gonna read it?" I'm like, "Man,
yeah.
it expands."
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And then the
Yeah.
indie fantasy is a thing. I'm like, oh, why? There's so many other books I want to read already.
There's
This
so
isn't fair.
much.
It's not fair.
Endless.
I've
It's
been
endless.
slowly dipping my toes in the indie fantasy as well. Like I
Yeah.
read the Edan trilogy last year. I
Yeah,
thought
man. I'm like halfway through the last book right now. So good.
I won't say anything. I'm gonna be careful with what I'm saying,
Yeah, no spoilers.
but it's very good. It's probably. I hope I hope Philip doesn't get too inflated about this, but it might be the best indie fantasy I've read so far. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean it's certainly up there for me too. It probably I really like The Bound and the Broken, especially the last book. Um the Dan trilogy is definitely I really like the God Eater books from Rob J. Hayes. That was really cool. But Edan trilogy might be my favorite. It certainly might be.
I'm trying to think of what other self-pub fantasy I've read because it hasn't been very much. I read the
Yeah.
Hybrid Helix last year. I started that, which has been
Nice.
very good actually. So I was like, oh,
Is that like progression stuff or no?
it's more of a space opera, superheroes. Though you
Okay.
don't have to like superheroes to like that series. I've met people who are not at all familiar with what Joe is riffing from, who enjoy it. So I think it's really good. It's really a lot of fun. I've only read the first two though, so
Cool.
maybe
Yeah.
I generally save them for like palate cleanser reads when I'm kind of like I don't know what to read next, and I'll just
Sure.
have something that's digestible and
Yeah.
good to read when you're feeling it.
Yeah. That's a good thing to it's a good thing to have. I try to have a series or something like that that I can grab when I need it like that too.
It's another one. I'm gonna check my Goodreads since because my brain's a
Yeah, and
bit.
I'm like looking back at my shelf and I'm like, okay, what else have I done? I have a bunch. Like I've grabbed some. It seems like every once in a while people will put their whole series on sale for $1 or whatever, so I'll
Yeah.
grab them. Um,
Philip actually did that, though with the
yeah,
Kindle version. I was like, dang it, because
yeah,
I like physical media.
yeah. Me too. I do have a Kindle and like I don't hate it as much anymore as I used to, but it's a physical book is still by far my favorite.
Oh come on, there you go. Oh yeah, I did read Thrice by Andrew Meredith, which is part of his Needle and Leaf books. I read it on my phone, which was a bit discombobulating, but I liked
I
it.
bet
So,
that's good. Yeah,
Andrew Meredith's good writer. He's probably one of the
heard that
smartest
name.
ones I've met on this site so far.
Yeah, that name sounds really familiar.
And oh yeah, I did read The Legend of Blackjack last year, which was also a lot of fun.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Oh,
aside
wait,
from
are the Last War books the Mike Shackle? Is that self pub?
I'm not sure,
Am I
but I haven't
tripping?
read those.
I read the first one; it was really good, but that might be trad. I don't remember.
I haven't
Anyway,
I haven't read some other ones I'd like to get to. I want to read Tori Talks books. Probably
yeah,
gonna
me
start with
too.
Phased because I like werewolves, and also it just I'm like I'm starting Discworld, and I'm
Okay.
starting Malazan, and I'm starting some of these pre-Tolkien fantasy books. I'm trying to chill with the series a little bit
Yeah,
this year,
yeah.
right?
Get you some standalones.
And Gormenghast. I'm trying to chill with the series right now. So maybe I'll save her new series for some time, but I'm gonna at least get to Phased this year because I was gonna read it for Halloween last year, and it didn't happen. So I'm really kind of sad about that. So I'm really wanting to get to it before too long.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
Do you usually read like horror stuff around Halloween?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll read horror stuff during the year, but Halloween I like to just go nuts on the horror stuff because
Cool.
I enjoy it. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I enjoy it as much as fantasy, science fiction, and crime, but like when I'm in the mood for like great horror, it's you'll get there.
That's awesome. I have yet to read a horror book, but I feel like this is the year. I'm like this October I want to do one, even if it's just Empire of the Vampire. Like even if it's just that, it's close enough. It's got some horror-y stuff in there. So but I'm definitely like I want to dive into Stephen King at some point. Um,
King is good.
visit him. Yeah,
Um, though some of his best stuff isn't horror,
sure.
which is kind of hilarious because like I get so mad. I'll if you'll indulge a small rant from me
Sure,
about
of course.
bookstores and how they shelve things. They always put all the Stephen King books in the horror section. I'm like, okay, guys, he does write horror, but that's not all he writes. Like they had
Yeah,
like Billy Summers and like The Dark Tower. I'm like, that's not even horror. Like, what are you doing? Stop.
that's
Like that
funny.
11/22/63. I'm like, that's not even horror. What are you
Yeah.
doing? But
I wonder if they just have better sales if they keep all of his stuff together or
probably
something.
I
Yeah.
would I would guess. But the horror section's gotten better though. Um, at I can't think. Again, my brain's kind of mush today because I've been
I
busy.
get it.
But
I get it.
uh, I but yeah, that kind of irritates me a little bit. But I'm always joking with my parents. I'm like, I'm gonna start my own bookstore and I'm gonna shelve them all right, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna get at the employees to you better get it right.
I wonder what that's like to own a bookstore.
It's not
I
very.
wonder.
I imagine it's not very prosperous.
Probably not. It's like I could see it being really fun, but I could also see it being like just not fun at all.
You're gonna be constantly grinding, I imagine, because you have to like
Yeah.
battle with like Barnes and Noble and half
Right.
price. Well, I don't know if you have a half price books where you are, but I do in my
I don't
state.
think I do. I have a Books a Million
Oh,
fairly
they still have
close.
those?
I guess at least one.
We had one actually when I was a very young kid, and
Yeah.
it went away.
Mm,
Unfortunately, they
yeah.
shut it
That's how
down.
it goes. That's how it goes. And then you'd have to like stock the things that sell, right? Whereas I would just want to stock the things I like,
Or you can just,
regardless of if it
or
sells.
or you can just go to like Amazon. Amazon's always.
True. True. How cool would that be though, just to own like
It'd be
a
fun.
fantasy bookstore or something? I think that'd be cool.
I mean,
I
indie
don't think that would
bookstores are a
do well.
thing. Like I know they
That's true.
exist.
I
Um,
went to one. I visited Boston and Salem over the summer,
mm,
and we found like this little tiny bookstore that I actually got. It's up there somewhere, but it's like a collected Edgar Allan Poe and then a collection of Lovecraft stuff and like these
mm.
really nice like special edition. They were like $30 or something for each.
Wow,
Like, oh, that's not
that's a
bad.
good deal.
Good deal. It was a great souvenir, like from Salem. That's like spooky. It's Witch City. I want like a horror book, and so it was cool. So maybe I'll crack those open this Halloween. That'd be a good way to go.
I would recommend Poe. I won't stop you from reading Lovecraft, but I'm kind of a contrarian there. I'm not the biggest fan.
Sure.
It's weird. I made a video talking about Lovecraft. It's kind of a discussion like what we're doing here, but it's
Okay. Cool. I'll have to check it out.
um, but yeah. Poe though, he's good. I don't know if you read him in school at all. I
A
did
little
a couple
bit.
times.
Yeah.
I quite like his. I was one of those weird kids who kind of liked reading the books they assigned. Some of them
Okay.
anyway. There was a couple of
Yeah.
them I didn't. Like apparently Scarlet Letters taught a lot. I didn't get taught it, but I tried reading it. Just
I don't think I got that
wasn't
one.
doing it.
Yeah, I don't think I got that one.
Um yeah, no, it's trying to think. Going back to owning oh yeah, Edgar Allan Poe. He's a good writer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You do have to be a little patient because he's he does it's a bit of an older style and the words are bigger and all that. So
Yeah. Hey, that doesn't bother me one bit, man. I that's like the Janny Wurts stuff. It's like very much like that. So
yeah, I've heard of a lot of fantasy authors. I did not know who Janny Wurts was until I got on here. So I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
I hadn't heard of her before. I think it was maybe Philip who I heard talk about her the first time.
Seems like cool lady.
Oh, she's so cool, man. I got to talk to her on my channel once. Um, she is like she's just such a awesome, badass human being. Like she's done so much cool
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, she rides horses and she plays the bagpipes. I'm like, what is that? You play the
She did like
bagpipes?
search and rescue stuff. Like
She
she paints her book
illustrates her
covers.
own
Yeah,
book
it's
covers
un-
sometimes, or maybe all the time.
unbelievable.
I have no idea.
Yeah, unbelievable, man. So talented.
Though,
So generous, so nice. Yeah.
it's kind of funny. I don't know if you've watched The Legend of Vox Machina or know what Critical
I've
Role
not.
is.
I know
Um,
Critical Role.
but there's a character called Scanlan in Critical Role, and I look at the Curse of the Mistwraith cover,
Uh-huh.
and the dude with the little guitar looks just like him. Like, let me just pull him up. Let me pull him up real quick. Like, Scanlan. Hold on. There. Here's a figurine of him.
Oh, it does look like him. That's funny.
Like, I don't know if you have the Curse of the Mistwraiths on you, but if you look at that cover, it looks a lot like him. It's really funny. I don't. It's just a real funny coincidence. I mean, except it does look a little different, but just on first glance, it kind of looks like him. Except he's wearing blue, not purple.
Yeah. That's funny, man. That's crazy.
No, but I've thought about trying her stuff, but I'm like, oh my god, there's so much like again. You know, I'm like, man, I'm starting Malazan. These other books.
Doing those two series at the same time with like I think John's doing both of the series this year. I'm like, bro, are you sure? Like, it's a lot to
Wait,
digest.
is he doing Discworld? I thought he was doing
It-
the Janny series, Malazan,
yeah,
and
Book of the New Sun.
Book of the New Sun.
Yeah, he's doing all those this year. I'm like, dude, that's a lot, man. And then
Yeah, no,
I've done.
John's nuts in a good way. I should
nuts.
note. He's nuts.
Yeah.
Like we did a buddy read together, and I'm generally like to the T. Like when it's the day it starts, I start the book, and I'll text him. I'll be like, "So, where you at?" And he's like, "I'm almost done." I'm like, "Dude, like how are you?" He's like, "I read 100 pages a day." He drops the mic and walks out of the room. And I'm like,
Dude, 100 pages of this Janny Wurts book would take me 4 hours. Like it just is. It takes a lot of time. I don't know how he does it.
I mean, I generally, I suppose I'll see when I get there. But a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's so dense," and I'm like,
I mean,
well,
I-
I'm gonna sound like a huge douche saying that, though. I
No, I
feel
mean,
like a
like-
huge douche saying that.
it is like I wouldn't say it's difficult by any means. It's just
No, I don't think so. I know what they mean. It's just like you
Yeah.
have to be patient with it a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
It's
and I think
more-
it just naturally moves slower, right? Like you said, bigger words, older words. You're gonna have to look a word up every now and then, or at least I do. I think like the rhythm of the sentences is like part of the reading experience, So it's like there's not a ton of action, at least so far, and all that stuff just kind of slows me down.
It's like well, I mean, I haven't read Janny, but it's kind of like with China Mieville. He also uses he has a very arcane style, so he moves a little slowly. He writes very evocatively,
Yeah,
but I don't know if they're any different. Janny Wurts seems more like a traditional, more. Well, I don't want to say traditional because people are going to nitpick that in the comment section and be like, "No, she's doing her own thing," which I imagine she is. I'm not saying she's not, but I'm just saying the type of fantasy that you and I are more accustomed with,
sure.
young people going on an adventure and
Yeah,
all that fun stuff.
I'm not that deep in. I think I'm like 200 something pages in so far, so I'm still relatively at the beginning. But you know what? It's kind of the most similar thing that I've ever read was
Or Lord of the Rings
Erickson's
is probably a
books.
better example. I don't know if you've
Yeah,
actually,
kinda like
I don't know
Lord
if
of
you've
the Rings.
actually read Lord of the Rings, but because
Yeah,
I've
I
known
have.
people who've watched the movies and have not
Yeah.
read the books, which that's fine. But it's just kind of, the books take a minute to get going. He wants
They do.
to really put you in the world. Now I
Mhm.
like it. I think I like the
Oh, yeah.
leisurely pace, but
Yeah.
not everyone's gonna meld with that.
For sure. I'm actually I want to reread that this year. I've only read it once. I've seen the movies a million times, right? But I've only read the books once, and that was like, geez, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago.
Oh
Um,
wow.
and I remember being like, yeah, I like the movies better. So like
Yeah, no, it's
now
yeah,
I want to
I
retry
get
it.
it on the one hand because like the movies are just well, one they actually did it, which is a miracle in and of itself because
Hmm.
Lord of the Rings. There's a lot of stuff going on in Lord of the Rings, like,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I like that in the movies he basically is like, okay, we're just gonna tell the story and not have a lot of the like weird aside stuff that he likes to
sure.
do in the books.
Yeah,
Like
streamline it.
Tom Bombadil's not in it, which makes me sad because I actually like Tom Bombadil, but I understand why he's not in the movie. Like
Sure.
I'm not too picky about such things.
Yeah, yeah.
Though apparently he's in Rings of Power, which I
Oh,
watched
is he?
like 2 episodes, like an episode and a half, and I just couldn't do it anymore.
I saw the whole first season.
Not because like
Um, yeah.
not because like the idea of like black elves offend me or anything like that. It's just it was freaking
Sure.
slow. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was there. So what got me? There's like I won't say what it is. I don't want to spoil anything, but like there's a thing that they do towards the end of the season. Um, with if anyone has seen it, the way I describe it is like it's like a PowerPoint presentation transition thing,
Hmm.
right? Like if anyone's seen it, they'll know what I mean. That it just made me cringe, and I'm like, oh come on, dude, like, seriously. But like you couldn't think of a better way to, you know. But I thought the acting was great. I thought that obviously it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
like that was the thing when I watched. I'm like, there's a couple threading stories in here, and they could be interesting on their own, but they try to like put it all together, and I'm just like, why? Now I understand.
yeah,
I was just saying that Lord of the Rings is a very leisurely read, but like, I don't know. I guess it's just that Tolkien was a great writer. He kept me invested. But I'm like
yeah,
you. It's been a while since I read Lord of the Rings last, so that's another one I also would like to reread it at some point
yeah,
because
it'd be fun.
um I mean I'm I'm curious to see how it holds up. Though I was gonna say,
Yeah, I'm.
oh
Uh,
sorry, you were gonna say something.
I was just gonna say I'm curious that now that I've read more fantasy, that if I'll come to it and actually prefer it over the movies now. Like I wonder if I'll just appreciate it more. We shall see.
Yeah, no, it was kind of funny watching the movies again. I'm like, huh, it was a little more. The ending is a little more bittersweet than I remember it being. Because like I kind of remember thinking like the ending of the books is a little darker than the movie is. But I'm like, okay, movie's a
Yeah,
little bittersweet. I see. You're going for more,
yeah,
and so yeah, because I rewatched the movies a little while ago. Just kind of put them on, and I was like, all right. Guess I'm
yeah.
back in on it.
I should rewatch those. I haven't seen
back
those in
on
a long
the
time either.
back on the saddle.
Yeah,
Um.
I a couple friends here went and they did this thing at the movie theater here where they played all three extended editions back to back to back in
Oh
one
my
day,
god.
and they went and they sat through the whole thing.
Oh man, that's
I was like,
crazy.
yeah, like I love Lord of the Rings too, but like I don't want to do that. That's too, that's just too much. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard that Return of the King's extended edition is the only one that's like really good. Or
Okay, it's been so long since I've seen him. I
I don't know.
barely even remember.
I don't
I just
know.
remember him being
Lord of the
4 or 5
Rings
hours long or
fans,
whatever.
movie fans, let me know in the comments.
Yeah, there we
Um,
go. There we go.
but oh yeah, I was gonna mention. I was in the bookstore a few months or about a month ago, and this guy was walking around with his girlfriend or wife or whoever she was, and he was talking about Lord of the Rings. He's like, "Oh man, people have been telling me to read this, but I thought the movies were so slow." And I was like,
Wow.
I really had to hold my tongue there because I was so tempted to just tell the guy, "Oh, you think the movie's slow? The books are 10 times that." But
Uh-huh.
I sucked it up. I'm just like, not gonna because I'm just gonna really sound like a dick if I said that.
Yeah, it's
But
not worth it.
I'm
Not
just
worth
like,
it.
man,
That's
that was hard.
man, I don't maybe it's I don't know. I don't remember ever feeling like they were slow. But difference in perspective, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, if you're used to seeing like these crazy, super fast-paced action movies or something, maybe it
Maybe, yeah.
seems slow in comparison. But
Like, it's.
you know,
And if I recall right, the movies are a little more actiony than the books. Like the Battle of
I
Helm's
think
Deep
so.
is like a couple pages, if I recall correctly.
Oh, is it really?
Again,
That's
it's
funny.
been like a decade since I last read all three books,
Yeah,
so take that with a gigantic grain of salt.
sure.
Um, but yeah, no, and also my horizons have expanded since then.
Hmm, hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, it's going back to what we were talking about though. Yeah, Janny Wurts kind of seems like I don't know if I'd say she's Tolkien-esque, but because I haven't read her, so I can't really comment. But from what people have said, it's kind of in that gist. It's a bit slower. You kind of have to
Yeah,
be more methodical,
yeah, I think so.
which I get
Or
the
it's kind of like,
frustration. Sometimes even I do like a fast-paced read.
sure. I
There's
mean,
sometimes
certainly.
it's sometimes very satisfying to read a fast-paced read.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I read a bunch of John Gwynn this year or last
Mm.
year, I guess now, and like that's awesome, right? Like his books rock. But I'm also like those January or like Malazin's the same way, right? It's kind of slower. You gotta, or at least you don't have to, but I really enjoyed and felt like I got more out of the experience going slower and like just letting it take me on the journey. It's like this is great. Um, but I don't know. That's why it's fun to do different stuff, right? You have a something like that, and then I'll go read like a random Star Wars book or something that's just like,
Yeah, I saw you were reading Star Wars stuff. I saw you reading
yeah,
the Darth Bane stuff. So I'm like, oh wow,
yeah,
you're really like diving in
it's
to
fun,
like
dude.
the
Yeah,
big lore.
yeah.
Now I haven't read the Bane books, though I kind of know what they're about. Um, I'm a big Darth Revan fan, so
Nice. Yeah, I read that book. I don't know, sometime was it last year or the year before? It was cool. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan in the world. Like I like Star Wars a lot, but I'm not like super deep into it. But I, it's like I just keep hearing that these TV shows are a bummer now, and I'm like, all right, well, what are the books like? And I know
I take
some
those with
people
a
love them.
grain of salt, but but at the same time I've kind of grown weary of Star Wars. I've taken a break because I watched Ahsoka and I'm
Sure.
like, okay, this is fine, and then I just kind of sat
Yeah,
and now I'm just doing my
that's fair.
thing.
There you go. Yeah.
Um, but yes, I do like Star Wars a lot.
Yeah.
Um, I won't go too much into the Star Wars rabbit hole today because I can get going about Star
Okay.
Wars, but
Fair.
um, but yeah, no, it's cool you're getting into like some of the extended stuff, though it's not
Yeah.
technically canon anymore, which probably for the best because a lot of that old canon is really convoluted, like very
Yeah, I mean,
much
I could
so.
see that. That would be difficult to keep everything super clean with
Though
that
there's
many different
some
people working on it and stuff.
though there are some things I enjoy, like I really like the Thrawn trilogy, the original one
Heard
from
that's
back in the
awesome.
day.
Yeah.
Um, which oh man, if they had only just done those as the sequel trilogy, but
Mhm.
unfortunately, Mark
Yeah.
Hamill and Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford were too old. They could not get to it. Or KOTOR, the video game, or
Yeah.
there's some other things I can't really think of at the moment, but um, there's some fun stuff there. But
Yeah.
I haven't read the Bane books though.
Yeah. They're fun. I've only done the first one so far. But it's cool. I've always thought the Sith are awesome, right? Like
Yeah,
I always like the pretty much every story that I read, I'm like the villain's always my favorite. And it's just fun. I like it. So getting into some of these older, at least back further back in the timeline, I should say, that seem to be a bit more focused on the Sith have been fun.
so would you say that you like so are there good villains in Malazan? Because you read Malazan.
It's hard to say who is a villain
Oh
in there.
man.
It's one of those. You will fully empathize with literally everybody.
I mean, I will say some of the names are pretty cool, like Whiskey Jack. I'm like, I want to know about that
Yeah,
guy.
man. Yeah. He's awesome.
I'm
He's
like,
awesome.
ooh. that's a cool name. I want to know about that guy.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool. I always Animander Rake was always
Yeah, Animander Rake. I used to call him
yeah,
Andromeda Rake until I
yeah.
figured out no, it's Animander Rake. Sorry,
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's a lot of just cool words
it's
in
not Mass
general.
Effect. I don't know if you play video games, but
Oh, I used to play a lot more. I haven't played in it's probably been 10 years since I really I bought Elden Ring because it was on sale for like 30 bucks.
it's kind of funny you bring that up. I've heard people call Malazan the Dark Souls of fantasy, and that just
Yeah.
makes me laugh. I'm like,
Yeah,
well, I
I've
hope I don't
heard that
bounce off of it like I have with Dark Souls, because
before.
I just can't do Dark Souls, man. I
Yeah.
am not. I said it in a previous. I actually had Alex from Iskandaria on a couple days back, and I was like, man, there's a certain kind of animal that can play Dark Souls.
Uh-huh.
I am not that animal.
Yeah. I don't think I would be either. I tried to play Bloodborne when it came out
Oh
and
man,
it was awesome, but I was just so bad at it and it was really frustrating that I'm hoping Elden Ring is not the same story. I'm hoping I can, do a little bit better with that, but we shall see.
good luck with that.
Yeah.
Well, you asked me, what are you reading at the moment? Well, I think you said Janny Wurts, but is there anything else
Yeah,
you're reading?
so I had the Janny Wurts book, and then what I've been doing with that is like I'm reading one chapter a day, and that's it,
Mm.
because I want to really have time for it to digest. And that she actually told me she was like, just read one chapter a day, and so I do that, and then I still have a little bit more time that I want to read. Right? So I've grabbed, I don't know,
Because I generally,
well, it's here somewhere, but
I've said, I showed you already, but I generally read two at a time. Sometimes
yeah,
three if I get a shorter book in there.
yeah, I uh, I usually I usually will do 2 or 3, but they're very compartmentalized. So like I like to read first thing in the morning because if I don't, then it's just not going to happen the whole rest of the day. But in terms of like dedicated reading time, so I'll have like a read there, and then I'll have something if I'm going to go do some cardio at the gym or whatever. Then
Mm-hmm.
I've been bringing a Kindle and reading something. So I've been reading the Edan books. I'm on
Mm.
like halfway through
Oh
the
yeah,
third
you
one
told
right
me you were
now.
reading Turn to
Yeah,
the Forgot about that.
which has been great. It's dark, dude. It's so much darker. Even I mean, there was some stuff in the first couple books, but this one is like wow.
Yeah, it's
Um,
another one where I'll admit I did kind of think the chapters were a bit long, but that's another one where you kind of have to take your time a little bit. Not that it's like
you
a
do
particularly like hard or dense read or anything, but like
no,
it's very
yeah, but
patient,
he does a similar thing with the language too, where it's like he's very intentional
very
with
leisurely.
the
This is a good word.
yeah, but then the action scenes hit right. So
Yeah,
I like that changing in the pacing like that is really cool. But so
yeah.
that's
There's a
fun,
part
and then
in one of the books I can't remember which one it is. Maybe it is Return to Eden, but there's literally
don't
an
spoil
art.
nothing, bro.
There, there's a. It's like at the very beginning, I think.
Okay,
But it's like this. It's the archer guy who's on the wall, and he goes,
yeah,
"Man, I need to piss." I'm like,
yeah,
okay, Philip. And he said that because I had him on this channel to talk about the Edan books. I'm like, that was a little on the nose, I thought. And he's like, "Hey, man, I was writing this before Joe Abercrombie. Apparently, it's like a
yep.
common thing with soldiers." I'm like, okay, all right, I'll let you get away with it. He's
I had the
he's
same thought
he's
though.
so
It's like,
friendly.
oh, okay.
But like, it's not a
Oh
big.
yeah, he's the best.
I was gonna say like, it's not like a big thing. It's just like, dude needs to go
No, it's like
piss, and
once. Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, like, come on.
You know what's so funny to me about those books is like Philip is like the nicest, best person ever on the
Yeah, I
planet,
know.
right? But then you read the books and there's like a ton of profanity. It's super gory. It's like it's got all the
It
trigger
gets
warnings,
vicious.
right? And I'm just like, wow, man. Like I didn't expect this coming out of him, but I'm so like it's such a cool just glimpse into like how well rounded of a person he is, right? It was really cool. Oh, and then I've been right when I'm about to fall asleep. I like to grab something that's like super easy just to like program my brain to fall asleep. So I'll read like 5 pages, right? So I've been doing the Skyward books from Sanderson I've been enjoying those more than I thought that I would. They've
Yeah, I
been
haven't
fun. They're
read
not my favorite thing, but
Sanderson's one of my blind spots. I've just been kind
oh,
of
okay, wow, yeah,
been kind of which shocks everyone because he's like, but Britton, he's so popular, and I'm like, well, now you see why I haven't read him yet. It's kind of like with the
hey
Robin
man,
Hobb fans. Everyone's like, oh man, Britton, why haven't you read Robin Hobb? Because I'm like, the hype train. I'm waiting for it to chill out a little bit. And also, there's these
well,
other series I'm reading
yeah, yeah,
too. So there's that. That was
I
why I didn't
think
read Malazan for a long time. Because, like,
sure,
man, there were a bunch of people who were like, bruh, this
yeah,
is the greatest,
uh-huh.
deepest, epicest fantasy of all time. And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
calm down. Like, I want to read these other books.
Yeah, it's tough. But hey, I tell you what, man. I think it sounds like some of that Sanderson hype is coming down a little bit. There's a lot of
Oh yeah,
people not happy with Wind and Truth.
I hate to say this because Brandon Sanderson sounds like a nice dude. I've watched his YouTube channel. He seems like a cool guy. You know, I would hang out with him for sure. Talk about like video games and stuff. It has been kind of funny seeing people go like, "It's aight," you know.
Yeah, it's weird.
People like critiquing the right, and it's like, why is he using these modern phrases? And it's been kind of funny watching that a little bit. Just a
yeah,
little bit.
it was an interesting. I still loved the book, right? He's still one of my favorite writers. I'll be
Mm-hmm.
honest, right? Like I still
Mm-hmm.
loved it, but I definitely, there were some words in there. I was just like, really, like that's the word you chose to use, and like this could have maybe been edited one more time.
It was pretty funny seeing people rag on the humor, and like people were like, this was serious business to some people. Like they were getting mad about it. I'm like,
Dude,
guys,
yeah,
calm
it's like
down.
it's a book, man. Like let's relax.
People are
Yeah,
like, bruh, his humor is so bad. I'm like, dude, calm down. Like, damn, can't be
I
that
don't know.
bad. But what people like to be dramatic on the internet.
Yeah,
I'm
they
I'm
really
sure
do.
the angry people who read When in Truth will blast me in the comments section.
Or they'll blast me for liking it. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know. There's no winning on YouTube on the
Uh,
internet. But
not at all.
yeah, maybe I'll try something like Warbreaker at some point. But I'm not in any rush to try Brandon Sanderson. I'm like, guys, I'm doing
Hey,
Malazan this year. All right, like
it's gonna be there forever, right? So, what's the rush?
I'm like, I'm gonna read Malazan soon. All right, can show me some grace.
Yeah. How are you planning on doing that? Like, I know some people like to do one per month or one every other month. Or do you have any plans, or are you just kind of
I'm
vibing?
kind of just I'm playing as they say I'm playing it by ear. I'm probably gonna like watch some or I've been doing this, but I'm also probably gonna watch some videos of people kind of discussing it a little bit. Well, not spoilery, discussing it a little bit, kind of to get me to kind of okay in the mood for this, right?
Yeah.
I've seen some read alongs, so I might follow along on that. Like some of the chapters I've seen people write and discuss, and maybe follow that. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, that's cool. Philip and AP has some really good spoiler-free and spoilery videos on each of the books.
Oh
Those were
yeah, they
always fun to
did.
watch.
I might just watch those because I like watching
Yeah.
their conversations.
Oh, they're so
Usually.
good together. That's what I did. Like I would finish a book and then I'd go watch their videos discussing it, and I'd be like, "Oh wow, I missed half of this book apparently," because they're
Yeah,
both
right.
just brilliant. You know.
That's another reason why I was hesitant to do Malzahn for so long because people are like, "Bruh, it's like." I generally hate it when people go like when they go like Britain, you gotta wait till like book 3 and then it like really gets good. I'm like,
It's good from page one, straight up. It really is.
I know.
I loved it
Or
immediately.
I
Yeah.
remember one time there was one of my friends was like, so there's this guy who's like a minor player in book 1, but he becomes like this big deal in book 3. I'm like, I don't give a shit about that. Like is the first book good? And they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's kind of slow. And I'm like, okay, that's all I wanted to know.
But I'm like, welcome to epic fantasy, though, right? Like, if it's a
Yeah, I know.
huge series, book one's not going to be like it's not. There's a bunch of action scenes in book one. I thought it was amazing. Like, it starts with an action scene. I thought it was amazing from page one. I get why some people bounce off of it if they're like, if it's super important to you to understand every single thing as it's happening. That's going to be a little tricky because there's stuff that takes a while for it to click what's going on. But if you can just kind of like go along for the ride, like it's amazing, man. And I think how the difficulty gets overstated. I think.
Yeah, I've heard that from a few people who are like, it's not that complicated. There's
Yeah,
dinosaurs with sword hands, and
real really cool dinosaurs.
and I'm like, oh. And then one of my friends was like, okay, you think that's crazy? There are cities that shoot laser beams, and I'm like, oh my god, okay, you know what? Fine,
It's-
I'll give it a shot at some point.
yeah, anything can happen. Like I was reading one of the
I'm
short
also
stories.
sorry if I hurt your ears by getting close to the
Oh no,
microphone
no,
there.
you're good. I was reading one of the novella collections, and there was like the boat was like sentient and magical.
What?
Like the boards and the floorboards in the ship, and I was just like, anything can happen in Malazan, man. Like there's no rules. It just the magic system is very soft. Not even system, just the magic itself is soft. It's a fun ride.
Yeah, it's what I've heard. It's like, man, it's just so it's worth the effort. And I'm like, all right, I'll see what I think when I get around to reading it, if I like it or not. I've had friends who've started it and they're like, yeah, this is great. So we'll see.
Mhm.
It's
I
one of
hope you
those
like it.
series from what I've seen where like there's not a lot of middle ground. It's either you love this book
Mhm.
or you hate it. You know.
That's true. It
And
does
maybe
seem that
there's
way.
the weird middle of the road reviews out there. I'm sure they exist, but I don't see them very often.
Yeah, it usually is. Which I guess that's another big internet thing, right? People like to, the stuff that gets clicks and views is the strong opinion one way or another.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
who knows?
Like it's one. I'm sure there's plenty of videos. It's like Malazan sucks, and it's like
Yeah,
super meme heavy.
right.
Yeah. I mean, I have a friend who didn't like it, and that was like his biggest video on his channel was why he quit
Mhm.
Gardens of the
Yeah.
Moon.
Uh huh. Yeah, that's how people are getting videos blowing up now with like the Wind and Truth thing, right? They're like they just say how disappointing it was or how much it sucks or whatever, and then it gets thousands of
People
views.
like getting mad at things. I've learned.
People love it. I can't stand. I'm like, how are you guys so negative? How do you have this energy for that? I don't get it. Like I don't. How do you argue with people on the internet? I don't understand. Like
It's
cool,
hilarious. Here's
but
a funny story I think you'll like. Because I had AP Canavan on my podcast a
that's
few
awesome.
months
I
back.
gotta try to talk to him.
Yeah, he's
He
a
seems
cool
so
dude.
fun to talk to.
He's a really he's probably one of the smartest people I've met on this platform.
I bet, yeah.
But my friend who didn't like Gardens of the Moon, because he was kind of grilling me a little bit. He's like, okay, what does some people mean? And I'm like, all right, fine, you motherfucker. So I pulled up
Because
I
he's an
pulled up,
academic, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I was just kind of speaking generally. I'm just like, I was kind of just giving anecdotes. I wasn't really like
Sure.
trying to I'm not trying to defend my position.
What is your evidence, Britton?
Exactly. So I'm like, okay, fine. You want to see the evidence? And I'm like, pulled up the video, and he goes, I saw that, and what I noticed from it is that for an author, and here's his words exactly, he's not a very good reader. And I'm just like, bro, like, I pushed back a little bit. I'm like, okay. Or here's what he said. He said, he has a particular opinion of what a story is. And for an author, he's not a particularly good reader. And I'm like, damn, dude. I'm like, I'll give you the first one. I'll push back on the second one because like that's a pretty big accusation to say that he's not a good reader at all. Like, just like, damn, dude.
Tough.
But no,
Tough.
but no, like that. But yeah, he's easily one of the smartest people I've met on here. I'm just like, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he did his PhD in fantasy, right? Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, I know. I joked with him. I'm like, so you should really be Dr. Fantasy, not
Good.
not Philip Chase over there.
Yeah.
He's like,
What a
well,
poser.
Yeah.
What a poser Philip is.
No, and he's like, no, I'll take Professor Fireballs. It's fine. And then
It's a good name.
Philip commented, he's like, wait, don't let him infect you with his black magic. And I'm like, yeah.
That's true. If anyone on BookTube is Black Aja, it's definitely AP. Come on.
Yeah, no, he's an interesting man though. I enjoed talking with him, and
Yeah.
to be honest, I was kind of surprised you let me talk for as long with him as I did. So it's kind of like with Bookborn. I talked with her for like 2 hours, and I'm just like, man, she let me do that? I guess you like this. I guess you like the chat. So
There you go.
thank you, Bookborn and AP Cannabin, if you watch this.
Cool people. Everybody on here is so nice, man. There's not been a single person that's been unpleasant to talk to.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. That's a cool thing about BookTube. It's not like video game YouTube where there's like people just just going nuts at each other.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore, but like back in like the day when you were playing like Black Ops 2, man, it was dog eat dog out there, you know.
I can't do it, dude. That's like I'm on the internet a lot for my job. It's like I work in the fitness industry, right? And like fitness, Instagram and YouTube and all this, like it is horrific. People are so mean and so gatekeepy and like all this. It's crazy. And then like you come into the book side of the internet and everybody's so nice. They're just like, hey, what are you reading? Isn't this fun? And I'm like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, like I mean, there have been spats I've seen on BookTube, but like nothing like super serious. Like no like, you know, drama tube, what's the tea type of thing that you might see on other platforms. Which you might not even know what I'm talking about, but I've been on YouTube for a very, very long time.
Longer than me, at least, man. I'm I don't know. It's like I've been I don't know, watching BookTube for a couple of years, I guess, but like that's it. I don't know. Before then, I would just like I would watch a music video every now and then or something. Right? It was just super minimal. And then so I don't know. I just kind of I missed the boat a little bit. It's like some people, like some of my friends, like there's a guy who's doing his master's in the same program as me right now, and it's like he knows every internet reference, he knows every meme, he knows all. I was like, how do you know all this stuff? He's like, I grew up with the internet, bro. I don't know. So I was like, I did too. I don't know. I don't get it, but it's cool. Whatever.
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny with my family. They think because I use the internet a lot that like I know how to like tinker with computers, and I've had to like tell my grandma, you know, very politely, of course, but I'm like, Nanny, you know, I just surf the web a lot. I don't know how to like tinker with stuff. Yeah. But if you need help like surfing the internet or, you know, looking stuff up, you can call me.
Yeah, there you go. That's kind of how I am. Like I can do some basic stuff, but I don't know.
No, what else are you hoping to read this year? Do you make like a mental list, or do you kind of just go by the seat of your pants?
I definitely am a list guy.
Mm.
So I want to do. Obviously, I'm doing a bunch of these Janny Wurts books
Mm-hmm.
for the big read along. I'm doing the Book of the New Sun. I'm joining that read along. That'll be fun.
Good luck. I've tried
Yeah.
Gene Wolfe twice, and I've bounced off twice. So
Okay. I'm hoping the read along helps me, man. I think doing it on my own is intimidating.
Now, don't be discouraged by my bouncing off, but I haven't read Book of the New Sun yet, so
we shall see. We shall see. What else am I doing? I got. I want to do some more Rob J. Hayes. He's got a series
wanted
called
to try
The
his
Warrior
Samurai Fantasy, whatever that is.
Yeah,
What was it called? Never
cool
Die.
Yeah.
That looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to check out more of his stuff. There's a bunch of. I want to do more like new releases because it's like I did a couple this year and it was so fun to just read it the same time as other people.
I'm so bad at new releases. Like seriously, the only like 2025 release I'm remotely interested in getting is probably The Devils by Joe Abercrombie.
Yeah, I'm stoked for that, dude. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I heard the like what it's about. I'm like, it's basically the Suicide Squad.
Hey, anything Abercrombie writes, I'm sure I'm gonna love it at this point. So
I'll at least enjoy it. Is what I've learned. I had a friend who got an arc, and it's like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like, all right, that's kind of what I imagined. Then again, he's more critical than I am, so we'll see.
Fair enough. Yeah, man, I have one more Sun Eater book to read, and then I'll have book 7 when it comes out at the end of the year. So I'm very excited. Sun Eater's one of my favorite
Sun Eater's
things
another
ever,
one people have been telling me about, and I'm like, dude, I got so many other series I gotta try. Like,
yeah,
I gotta prioritize. You know, like I'm doing Malzahn, I'm doing Discworld, I'm doing Gorman Guest. That's it.
that's enough. That's enough. I'm gonna do Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. I'm very excited for that. I haven't read
Oh
any Tad
yeah,
Williams before, but I'm stoked for those.
he inspired George R. R. Martin apparently,
Yeah,
which I'm
so I've
like,
heard.
and I've seen him on Jimmy's channel. He seems like a cool dude.
Yeah. Oh, he's talked to Williams. I didn't know
Yeah,
that. I know Jimmy's read the books and loved them, but that's cool.
yeah.
I'll
It's
have to watch that.
he's an interesting guy. He's very well read as well, which is
I can
always
imagine.
a plus.
Yeah.
Um, no, I haven't read that series yet though because
Yeah.
well, I haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, there's there's way too much. It's
You
so
know,
hard.
it was kind of funny. Again, I had Alex on little a few. I think it was last week actually, and I'm just like, I was basically just talking about a bunch of the series I haven't gotten to yet. I'm just like, he's like, oh, have you read this? Nope. Have you read this? No. Have you read Robin Hobb? No. It's just
He reads a lot, man. He's another like aims for 100 pages a day kind of guy. I'm like, how do you have this much time? This is crazy.
yeah, no. And then he gets into the broken binding. I'm like, how do you do that, man? Like, because yeah, man, because you know I talked with Chris from Bearded Book Beast on
Yeah.
this show
Uh-huh.
a while back, and it just kind of devolved into a conversation about, ooh man, I'm real tempted to get this broken binding book, you know. And he's like, bro,
He loves his special editions,
the
yeah.
subscription is like $50. I'm like, what? No,
Yeah.
I am not spending that much money. I'm sorry. I am I
Understandable.
am tempted to get like the Baz Lag books though. But we'll see.
What are those?
Baz Lag or Boslag, I don't know how it's pronounced. It's China
don't know that.
Mieville's series.
Oh, okay, cool. I haven't read any of Mabel's stuff, but I hear it all the time how great it is. Well, it's kind of like what you were saying before, right? It's either great or you just DNF it and don't like it at all.
Yeah,
I don't know.
well, you think like Malazan is. I mean, I haven't read Malazan, but I've seen people say Malazan is like dense and stuff. I'm like, oh man, if you're not like sold by a bird person just chilling out in this fantasy steampunk city trying to get his wings back, forget it. You're not going to get anywhere.
That sounds cool. Which book is that?
That is Perdido Street Station.
Oh, interesting.
I'll
Okay.
pull it out. This puppy right here.
Nice. That's cool.
Though I do recommend, I do know a lot of people like The Scar the most, because it's more of a fantasy adventure, kind of.
Okay.
But it's I prefer Perdido because I just really like what he did there. It's kind of
That's I've been getting really interested in like I want to read some more like punk stuff, like cyberpunk, steampunk, whatever, like all
it's
that
weird
kind
as
of thing.
hell. Or
Yeah,
Perdido Street Station is kind of steampunk a little bit. So
okay. I'm here for it. I've read literally one book. I read one cyberpunk book and I was like, this is cool. And
what
now I'm just
cyberpunk
like, okay, well,
book was it?
it was Aaron's book, Bibliotheory, the
Oh
Falling into
yeah,
Oblivion.
yeah. He did a book. I'm
Yeah.
real.
It was good. It was fun.
I'll have to give it a look. I'm not the biggest cyberpunk fan because I'm creeped out by transhumanism.
Okay, fair.
And like cybernetic. Yeah, I just I'll gel with it.
Okay, fair enough.
Though there are
Fair
some I'd
enough.
like to try. Like I want to try Neuromancer at some point because like
Yeah,
I know
me too.
that's a classic.
Yeah. I talked to him and I was like, what are like some of the big hitters that I should read? And like that was one of the immediately he said that one. He's like, you gotta check that one out. It's
Yeah,
the
like
classic.
I read Hyperion last year, and
I want to read that. I still haven't.
it was pretty good. I know like there's a lot of people. It's kind of like with Malazan. They're like, this is like God's gift to science fiction, and I was just like, it's aight, like it's fine. Some really masterful stuff in there, but it like overall it was fine, you know. Which again,
Fair enough.
I'm offending so many people right now.
You so I hear you have said that several times here tonight. What are some of your favorite things? Like what do you think is like brilliant?
Well, um, well, I was. Let me back up. I do like American Gods. American Gods is my favorite fantasy novel of all time, which is really
Okay.
sad because Neil Gaiman is not everyone's favorite person right now, especially after what happened yesterday. But
I don't even know what happened. I'm so unplugged. I don't even know.
I love that book though, and despite Neil Gaiman's really bad decisions, um, that's not gonna go away anytime soon. So
Yeah.
sorry to the
Yeah.
audience. But yeah, I like that. Bezleg, I really enjoy a lot. I read it a few years ago and it really jumped up. Though I'm not. I would recommend this Perdido Street Station, The Scar, Iron Council. You can read it if you want, but I was just kind of like, it's fine.
Okay.
I really like this series called the Dark Star Trilogy, which starts with Black Leopard, Red Wolf. I think that's a really good series. Game of Thrones / Song of Ice and Fire,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
First Law, and I really like Lord of the Rings. I really like The Dark Tower as well from Stephen King, which is another one kind of like Malazan. I've heard it described where first book is kind of a hard sell because it's this weird post-apocalyptic Western sci-fi fantasy weirdness with this gunslinger chasing this guy across the wasteland, and
Mm-hmm.
it just gets wackier from there. So,
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's one of the gutsiest fantasy series I've ever read.
Yeah. I hear people say that. It makes I definitely want to read it. I just want to read some of his other stuff first and then get into that. Just so I can like see some of the connections, you know.
I mean, go nuts. I enjoy it. I will say though, the first book is a bit of a hard sell because it's kind of this weird, like I mentioned, this weird world. And this is Stephen King when he was younger, so he hasn't quite figured out the style just yet. So yeah, um, there's that. I also like the Gentleman Bastard books. I've read the kind of like with Baz Leg. First two really enjoy. Third one was kind of a letdown.
Okay. I've not read those
But
yet,
I
but
really
I
enjoy
definitely
that
want to.
series a lot. So,
Yeah. I
which
hear
also kind of
he's
it's kind of steampunky, but it's kind of
Oh, okay.
like it's kind of steampunky, but not really. It's like pre-steampunk, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Interesting.
Because they play a lot with like clock, stuff,
Yeah.
especially in the
Clock's
second
cool.
book.
Interesting. That's cool. Yeah, I would definitely like to read those. And it sounds like he might be releasing more books in the series eventually.
I know he's releasing a short story, but it's kind of seeming like he's slowly coming back to the fold. So we'll see how it goes.
That's cool. There you go.
What else? I've kind of been trying to get. I do like. Oh man, like Conan, the original Conan by Robert E. Howard.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend to people who are interested in reading Conan, the Del Rey editions that they put out because it's Robert E. Howard. What he wrote, nobody's touched it. It's what he wrote. It's actually really good. It's not just me saying that because it's really important for the fantasy genre. It's proved so influential, and you'll be like, oh, that's where that came from, and that's where that came from. They're really good. Like, they're actually really good stories. So I like those.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfortunate that, as big of a touchstone as Robert E. Howard is as a writer, it's kind of sad that not a lot of people notice him anymore, which is kind of
Sure.
unfortunate. But man, he's good. He's really good. That first, like, I'll pull my copy out. Find it. This right here, this copy is very good. All the stories in here are very good, I thought.
Awesome.
So there you go.
Nice. That's cool.
But yeah, no, he's there's some other ones I like Elric, which I don't know if you've read Empire the Vampire, but
Not yet.
from what I've heard about it, I'm like, it kind of sounds like Elric with vampires. That could be fun, but
Okay.
we'll see.
Yeah. Elric sounds cool. I think it was not this past Christmas, but the one before that. I found the Elric collection books on like a crazy good deal, so I got all three of them, and I haven't read them yet.
They're good, but Michael Moorcock has this like multiverse, and the chronology gets really.
Okay.
So it's kind of like there's a couple good ones, and then it just kind of gets crazy. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Crazy's not bad.
Um, but there's probably other ones like I'm sure there's other ones I'm not mentioning.
Yeah, it's a solid list, man.
Um,
And again, it's
but
very
again,
it's
I'm not
right.
again I'm not like a complete hipster. I like stuff like First Law and Song of Ice and Fire. So
Yeah, there you go.
I've been red
Solid
pilled.
ones. Yeah, exactly.
Um, that's another one I want to reread, Song of Ice and Fire, because like there were some passages I read from it a while back that I found again. I'm like, man, these are really good. I
Yeah.
gotta read the series again. You know?
Well, when Winds of Winter comes out,
Oh
right?
my
Then
god.
we can all reread it.
Yeah, when or if that's happening, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Thought about trying some of his other books, like Fever Dream, and
Yeah,
some of his other ones that he's done. I can't remember some of their names at the moment. I remember Fever Dream because
that's the only one I remember because somebody was it Mike or John that read that last year and they talked about it and said it was cool. Um, I can't remember who it was. Somebody, some one of the bigger booktube accounts read it and liked it a lot.
and
It's
there's
always
plenty.
weird.
Oh, sorry. Finish your
It,
thought.
it, I was gonna say it's always weird to think about like he's the Game of Thrones guy, right? I always
Yeah,
forget that he wrote other things.
yeah. No, it's and there's plenty of other ones I haven't tried, like Ursula K. Le Guin, Janny Wurts, Steven Erikson, Robin Hobb, Roger Zelazny. I could go on.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with
Terry
you.
Pratchett.
Yep, that's another one for me. Like I've read Erickson and read some words, but like the rest of those on that list, I haven't done either.
Probably other ones I can't think of at the moment because they're.
Yeah, there's so
Um,
many, man.
oh yeah, I read the first short story collection of The Witcher, which I thought was fine. It was pretty good. So
Huh?
I
That's
like the
good.
atmosphere of it, and I like the video games.
Yeah,
So
I tried to read the Witcher books, and I got at the time I was not a short story fan. I just didn't. I don't know why. I just liked a longer book. So like I read the short stories, and I was like, these are fine, whatever. I wish it was longer. And then I started the actual series, and I think I got through. I think I was maybe halfway through book 4 or 5, and I just like I can't do this right now. Um, I like the story, I like the characters. It was just like the style wasn't really for me, and
yeah, it's very much like a fairy tale kind of style.
very much so, yeah. And I don't know if you know Vera, her YouTube channel. She has a bunch of really great Witcher videos,
Oh yeah, I mean
and
she's from Poland, so I mean
yeah,
I think you'd be a
and
bad Pole if you disliked The Witcher.
and
Be a bad
she says
Polish
the
fantasy.
translation is a yeah she says the translation is a big issue. Like that's just a lot was lost when they translated it to English.
Eh,
So
I'm
who
like,
knows?
man, it's kind of funny. I'm like, because I'm like, man, I don't want to freaking learn Polish so I can read the Polish version. But
Yeah,
that's funny because I was talking with a friend of mine last night. I'm like, man, I would like to learn another language. I just don't have the freaking patience to do it. Like I've
it's a
tried.
long
I even
it's a
took
long
two
process.
Spanish classes a few semesters back, and I just you know just did
Yeah.
not was not in it.
I had 3 years of honors Spanish in high school, and have since forgotten almost all of it because I just don't use it for anything. And I
Really?
hated it at the time. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
wasn't for me.
there's also like science fiction as well, like Chris Rocchio. A lot of people tell me to check out
Oh,
because
dude, you gotta if you're not if you're not into the like machines with humans thing, that might be a little bit of an obstacle because that's in there
I
a
can
little
I
bit.
can deal with it. Like I'm not anti cyberpunk. It's just kind of
Yeah,
weird to me.
his books are like I think his books are brilliant. I think he's one of the best writers working right now, at least that I've become aware of. He's the man, and he's super
oh,
nice. He's awesome.
and speaking of Rocchio, Dave Butler is another guy I would like to try at some point in terms of fantasy. Um,
Yeah,
I think he helped edit the Sun Eater books, but he's also written
I
some
believe
other
that's right.
things.
Yeah,
Um, Oh
He did
man,
Witchy Eye is the one I always hear
Witchy
about.
Eye. Yeah, that one. I want to try that because the thing I'm writing is also based on colonial America, so I want to see what he's
Oh,
got.
cool.
So I
Yeah.
won't get the "you ripped off DJ Butler, you suck." I want. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I was about to say, well, you said you didn't like short stories, or well, maybe you've changed on that. But like, well, if that's the
Changed a bit.
case, don't read Conan. They're all short stories slash novellas.
Yeah, I think I could do it now. I think I'd actually Rockio's stuff made me a fan of short stories.
Oh, okay. Well,
His collections are the first one was I liked it. I didn't love it, but then the second and third collections, I was like, these are awesome. Like I'm becoming a short story fan.
yeah, it's an acquired taste for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
with Rockio, like I haven't read any of his books, but he seems like a really interesting guy to talk to.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to have him on this show at some point.
Yeah, I got to have him on my channel a little bit ago, and he was like, he is the man. He's so cool. He's so intelligent. He's like one of those people that the moment he opens his mouth, you're just like, oh, you're smarter than me, right? Like it's just like whoa. But he's so nice. He's so humble. He's just like such a down to earth dude, and he loves Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, and like he's just a cool guy. So
Yeah,
yeah,
um, yeah, he seems like an interesting guy for sure. He's got a lot of knowledge.
yeah.
Um,
Those did you see the Dune videos that he did with Mike over on his channel? They
oh
like broke down the
no,
Dune trailers and then the movies, and it was
oh
like
no, I did not. I only
very
watched the
cool.
first Dune movie in theaters, and I was like, all right. Well, I read the book, and I was like,
Huh?
okay. It was kind of like how I felt with Hyperion. I was like, all right. And then I watched the movie, and I'm like, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Visuals are
Yeah.
great. Like, visuals and the
Oh
music are
man.
awesome. Like,
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer, man,
Oh dude. Yeah. Get out of here.
dude's a boss.
Yeah.
But
It's
I was
pretty
just kind of
great.
like, yeah, it's fine.
You should watch part two at some point. Part
I
two
know.
was really
I
good.
need to. Like, I heard what happens, and I'm like, all right, I'll have to watch it. But
Yeah.
because
I
I'm
hear.
sure it'll make sense once like I watch them both together.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I hear that so Villeneuve is making Dune 3, and then I heard somebody else is gonna make Dune 4, which I'm like, that's number one, that's gonna be weird for someone to make a Dune movie after he does such an amazing job. But then I'm like, we know what Dune 4 is gonna be, right? And like it's gonna be really weird. I don't know how many of the books you read, but like
I only read the first one, but I know what happens. Like, I know he basically
okay.
like commits genocide against like billions of people.
Yeah. Which all happens off screen, off the page, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um that like Dune 4 would be God Emperor, which is
Mm.
like if anyone watching this has read God Emperor of Dune, it's weird.
Isn't that where it's like his son turns into like a worm or something?
I mean,
One of his
uh
either his son or one of his ancestors is like a worm. I forget
yeah,
who it is.
it's yeah, I don't know how careful that we should be with spoilers, but yeah, basically.
Somebody's
Yeah.
a worm, and some Atreides is a worm. I don't know who
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah. It's
Again,
it's
I'm
out
gonna
there.
get just scorched in the comments if
It's out
like
there.
by the Dune fans.
The Dune fans, the yeah. But you're safe from the Tolkien scholars at least because you like Tom Bombadil. So like they won't hurt you.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a running joke with some friends of mine and I. Like, I'm like, I like Tom Bombadil, and they're like, I don't like Tom Bombadil. I'm like, man, you're missing out. Tom
Yeah.
Bombadil's great.
I will be interested to see how it because I remember when I read it again, it was like 12 years ago or something, and I was just like, this the song is annoying or whatever, right? But I hadn't read any adult fantasy at the time, right? I had read Harry Potter, So like now I
Oh
think
yeah,
going
Harry
back and
Potter
reading
is
it,
one I also like.
Harry Potter's great, dude. There's like
It's kind
massive
of
plot
weird
holes,
now
but
because like people just it's almost like fantasy fans who aren't like big fans already kind of want to just pretend that it doesn't exist, and it's kind of like embarrassing for a lot of them. I'm just like,
yeah,
why? These books are really good. Like,
yeah,
it's what are you doing? But yeah, I like Harry Potter.
yeah,
Forgot to mention I like Harry Potter.
yeah, it's great, dude. Yeah, people like to they like to hate on the popular stuff just because it's popular. I think.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know.
unless it's like Lord of the Rings, where in that case everyone's like, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Most people don't. It either it's pretty good or they like haven't seen it and they don't or they haven't read it because they don't want to because it's too old or whatever, right? Which fine, right? If that's your personal taste, that's totally fine. But I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, it takes a minute. Going back to Lord of the Rings having a bit of an older style. It's just
Yeah,
it's like, read I mean hell, even read Conan, and Conan was like stories that like people just read, for entertainment. They're very
yeah,
good, but like, nowadays people will be like, it's kinda it takes a minute. I'm like,
yeah,
this was fast paced back then. So, it's
yeah.
interesting
That's
how it
yeah,
shifts.
100%. That's like I hear like some self-published authors will talk about stuff like if you don't start with a massive battle, people just aren't going to read your book these days. I'm like, really? Like I love that. Like I love the Wheel of Time. I love that slow burn. Give me that like really sink my teeth into this world and the characters, and then when I care about them, then the battle happens and it's like got some weight to it, you know. But it's
But,
everything just has
didn't
to
you
be
say
so fast
Malazan
paced.
starts with a battle or
Yeah,
with a fight scene?
it's yeah, it's it's crazy. Um,
So,
you're
so
dropped right into it.
you're saying like Steven Erickson has the right idea. He's like, I'm gonna trick. So I'm gonna get the battle scene.
Yeah,
I'm gonna trick you
but
into reading
he
this complex book here.
yeah. I mean, the battle
Then again,
scenes
I'm
kind of
going off of
like
what I've heard. I've not read it yet.
yeah. I think it very well conveys the idea of war is chaotic and like messy, and you're not always going to know what's
But his battle
happening. And
scenes are
like,
great. So
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
let me just look through here. Like, look at his freaking dramatis personae here. Like, it's like
Oh,
freaking.
they get bigger.
There's dozens of people here.
Yeah, they get bigger.
But it's fine.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
you
fun.
know. Oh yeah, Wheel of Time. Haven't read it. Haven't felt the itch to read them because I'm like, man, no one said anything that's gotten me like excited about it. And there's even people who are like, there's like 3 books that are just a slog, and I'm like, man, is that
I have
even
strong feelings
worth
about
it,
this.
bro?
I have strong feelings about this. I
Yes.
don't think there's a slog.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
I think they're all
Hot take
good.
from Jake.
Yeah, I think so. There is in the middle of the series, he starts to explore some other stuff, some other plot lines that then he then sort of ties up and then gets back to the main plot line. I get that. Some people didn't really want the diversion. I thought it was great because one of his biggest strengths as a writer is his world building, and I wanted to explore more of the world. I wanted to learn more about the magic, learn more about these different people. So I loved it. And then to me, the biggest selling point of the Wheel of Time is it's this massive. I mean, it's a 14-book series plus a prequel. If you want to read the prequel, the ending is one of, if not the most satisfying endings I have ever experienced. Like the catharsis and the payoff at the end is just like chef's kiss. It's so good.
More satisfying than Harry Potter.
Honestly, yeah, because the journey was so long and like there's so much
Okay,
going
fine.
on.
Fine. I was about to say, okay, 15 books and it ends. Okay. I heard.
It's a lot.
I
And
think Brandon Sanderson finished it. Is that right?
yeah, he finished it, but there was very extensive notes from Robert Jordan and like
Well, that's
the
good.
the big climactic battle was mostly written by Jordan. Like he had pre-written a lot of it, and then Sanderson kind of cleaned it up a little bit. I mean, it's like a 250-page chapter. Like it's crazy how long it is, but it's just so perfectly well done. It's awesome.
Yeah, I've never felt the itch. At least not
That's
yet.
okay.
Maybe someday I'll
Yeah, nothing
pick
wrong with
up
that.
Eye of the World and give it a crack, but
There you go.
we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
But
Yeah.
people are like, this guy's crazy. No,
It's a long series, dude. Like if you're not super stoked about it, like I get it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, I know. It's like, here's my thing. Like, I'm not the biggest like like I'll do like I love trilogies. Like trilogies or if it's like 4 books or like 5 books. I can deal with that. Or even 7
sure.
books if it keeps my interest. I can deal with that. But like 10 books or like 15, you're gonna have to convince me a little bit to like like Dresden
fair.
Files, for instance. So why I've been hesitant to read Dresden. There's like 24 something books
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Now I've
That's a
heard they're
lot.
kind of like standalone monster of the week, kind of at first. So I'll
I've
cut
heard
it some
that too.
slack there, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's another one. I haven't read much urban fantasy either. I've read like 1 or 2
American
books
Gods
maybe.
kind of ruined urban fantasy for me.
Which one did?
American Gods.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I could see that then. Yeah,
um,
it's like one of your favorites. Yeah.
yeah, no. This world, same thing. I'm like, there's 40 books, and but people were like, well, there's like different sub series that splinter off, so it's not that bad. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'll just try
Yeah.
guards and give it a crack and see how I think.
They're pretty short, usually.
Yeah,
Also,
like,
right?
well,
The
hold on, let
scroll
me see
books.
how much here. 363. So that's not bad. Like that's pretty average for me.
Not bad.
Like, that's like an average
Yeah.
read for me.
It's not bad at all. That's like a third of one of these Malazan books.
Yeah, no, like I looked at my Malazan copy I have. It's 666 pages. I'm like,
Ominous. Ominous.
ominous. That's an ominous page number. But
And
like,
it's the
that's not
shortest
that.
one in the series.
I was about to say like, but I was like, that's not that bad. That's like the size of. Hold on. It's like it's a little longer than like Black Leopard, Red Wolf, which is like 640
Okay.
something pages. So.
Yeah. It's not that. I mean, as far as epic fantasy goes, like 600 something's not crazy.
And I saw someone made a video about like I think it was Tori actually made this video about people who are always like concerned about like how long the series is or if things are oh god, what was she saying? Again, my brain's kind of if you couldn't tell, my brain's kind of fried a little bit today. But he was like, well, don't expect the book to wrap up in book 1. I'm like, well, yeah, I get that, but, I want to be invested in what's going on, It's if you're not hooked, then why are you reading?
Yeah. Fair. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you don't like it.
It was a good video, though, so it was like, I don't really have too many complaints.
Yeah. Yeah. My problem is, like, I tend to like almost everything. Like, it's got to be really rough for me to not like the book.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I generally try to go for books that I would enjoy reading. So, like, I generally try to avoid books that I think would be not good to read.
Yeah. I mean, life's too short, man. Like I said earlier, it's like I don't,
like as much
some
as
people like
as much fun
force
as a good
themselves.
ranty review can be sometimes.
Sure.
I like talking about books that are interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like this is supposed to be fun, right? This YouTube thing is, and if
Yeah.
I mean, I guess some people have fun doing the really angry rant stuff, but it's just not for me.
No, I mean, I read like Fourth Wing,
Okay.
last year.
How was that?
I read the like first couple chapters, and I'm like, okay, the world building makes no sense. It's really contrived, just
Okay.
set up. I can predict what's going to happen here. I'm not going to like this. I'm going to put this down. I'm just not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
She's
do it.
crushing though, dude.
What?
She's crushing it. Like
I
I
know,
saw
yeah.
Daniel Green had his fantasy news video and he talked about it's like the top 10 bestsellers of the year and she has 2 books in the top 10 bestsellers of the
Damn.
year. Like almost 1 million copies of each. Like
Well,
it's crazy.
Good for her.
Yeah,
You know?
right. She's
That's all I'll
crushing it.
say.
I think Sarah J. Maas also had 2 books in the top 10. And like these people just print money. It's crazy. It makes me want to check out like ACOTAR or something just to see I just want to know what it's about. Right? Just let me see what the hype is about.
Well, that's kind of funny you bring that because that's kind of why I did Fourth Wing. I did this kind of brief series called "What's the Big Fuss," where I had my audience pick a book for me that's
nice.
popular
Yeah.
for me to read. It didn't last long because I just don't read like that. I just realized I'm like, yeah, this isn't working. Maybe I'll bring it back someday, but
Sure.
it's not panning out. I was actually gonna
Fair
read
enough.
Malice next, and it just didn't happen because a bunch of stuff kept coming up.
Now it's from John Gwynn?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that book, dude. That's such an awesome series.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I haven't read that one, but it seems like something I would like. It's very
Yeah.
Norse inspired.
Yeah.
Like it's very like, intense and like gritty. And I'm like, all right, it seems like something. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. So
Yeah. It's great. Did you read if you want the Norse stuff, like his Bloodsworn trilogy is even more so Norse.
oh, I've heard that. Yeah, I need to get to Gwen. Gwen's another one I need to get to at some point.
Yeah. I'm finally caught up on his stuff. That was like one of my big things this year is I wanted to get caught up on his.
I watch his
Great.
sons on YouTube.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, that's a lot of books you guys read.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. Dude, some of these people on that note, like you see all these people doing their how much I read in 2024 stuff, and it's like I see people reading like 200 books, 300 books. Like how does time work differently for you than it does
The
for me?
most I've read in a year, at least so far that I've been doing BookTube, is 85. Which that's
That's
a damn good year.
still a ton.
Which that's a damn good year for me.
Yeah,
I
that's a
read
lot.
50 last year, which is
Yeah,
also pretty good. But I was a little
it's still a
disappointed.
lot of books.
It's still a lot of books,
Yeah,
yeah. So
it's
it's
still a
not
book
terrible.
a week, right? I mean, it's crazy.
Went to
I think I
therapy
did
today, and
40.
my counselor asked me the same thing. I'm like, ah, it depends. I guess so.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm a pretty fast reader.
Yeah, I'm definitely not the fastest. I think I did like 45 or
Now I'm
46
not
last
like
year.
John, who'll just be like, I'm done. I'm like, dude, we just started. Come on.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, like it was kind of funny. I recommended him City of Thieves around
Yeah,
Christmas time in 2020, or around early last year, because I read it in December of 2023, because it's good winter read, right? And then his wife, the Mrs. Amy Minton, finally gets him to read it, and he's like, "Dude, I love this." I'm like, "I was
yeah,
telling you that."
uh-huh.
I'm glad you like it though. so
Yeah.
it worked out. But I was just like, dude, I was telling you, you'll love it, and he did. So I was really,
Am I? Wasn't that his favorite book of last year? Or am I
yes, it
crazy?
was. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just like, dude, look, it was great.
yeah. He's gotta trust you
I'm
better.
never gonna let you down. At
Yeah, exactly.
least
There you go.
intentionally. Maybe I'll give him a book and he'll be like, but
Just to troll him. Yeah,
no, I won't like. Well, I won't do that, but you never know what'll disappoint people.
that's true. That's true.
Like
It
I could,
feels like all of his pressure right now. Everyone wants him to do One Piece and really like it. That seems like that's the
yo,
main thing.
One Piece. You know what? You read manga a little bit, don't you? Like
A little bit. I've been
a
doing One Piece lately.
little bit. Bro, One Piece. Talk about
It's
a
incredible.
a fantasy epic. Like,
Yes.
dude, this series has gone on. Like, I read a lot of American comics.
Mhm.
Like, bro, how do I put this? Okay, so One Piece could literally go to college and have like two little One Pieces running around. Like, that's how old it is. I'm just like, damn,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
It is a lot. It's a
But
lot.
I've
I
heard
think. Have
uh,
you read it?
no.
Okay. I think I'm like
I'm a
400
little.
something chapters in now.
Then again, I read Berserk, which is
Yeah,
even
Berserk.
older
I
than One Piece, and I'm kind of
love Berserk, dude. One of my favorite things ever.
yeah, man. I actually because Chance was invited me to come on to talk about the Conviction arc, and I'm like, I don't know. I took a break from it for a while, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So I'm going through it
Nice.
right now.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to review it. It's been a minute since I read that. Like Golden, I'll never forget the Golden Age arc, right? Like it's just, I read it. I've seen the anime a couple times. I've seen the movies a bunch of times. Like it's just seared into my brain. But the rest I'm gonna have to go back and
It's kind of
review a
hard for
bit.
me because like I think the Golden Age is probably like the best stuff of that series, but like man, the Lost Children arc really freaking stuck with me.
Yeah, I like Conviction a lot. Like the aftermath after Golden Age is like I love that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, hell, you could do Golden Age is almost its own fantasy epic.
Yeah, honestly, it really is.
No, no, I mean, I like manga. I'm getting slowly dipping my toes in it because, you know, I'll admit I thought manga was a bit silly for a long time, and then I watched like Death Note, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
so you can tell pretty cool stories in this medium, even though they're basically just Japanese comics. But I digress.
yeah,
Um, then I read some Naoki Urasawa. I read Monster, and I read Pluto last year, which was, or
nice.
well, no, I didn't. Did I read? No, I read Pluto in 2023, so not last year, last year.
Right, right. Yeah, I've heard
Um,
both of those are very good. I haven't read them
excellent.
or watched them,
I like
but I've heard they're
Monster a bit
awesome.
more, but both of them are really, really good.
Nice.
And I'm like, I'm kind of Urasawa out, so I'm gonna chill. And I haven't really done a lot of manga since then. So
Yeah.
there's some other ones
I,
I'd like to get to,
me too. Yeah.
like I read the first volume of Vagabond a while back, which
Mhm.
was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a samurai manga.
Yeah. I've heard that's awesome. I got a long list of stuff I'd like. I don't know why. Like I've grown up. Like anime was my first fandom, right? Like I've always been a
Mm-hmm.
huge anime guy, and I read some manga, but not as much as a lot of people would think. With how much I like anime and reading, it seems like the natural thing. But I don't know. So I'm trying to do a little bit more. Um, I got a little small handful,
Yeah,
but One
I
Piece is
see. I see
my
some of them.
yeah. I have
See,
like a couple random whatevers, but the only full series I have is Berserk.
I was about to say. I think I see some One Piece over there. I'm not sure.
I don't have physical. I've been reading it digital.
Oh,
As much as I
I
don't.
thought the red ones you had were One Piece. I'm sorry, I was
These
mistaken. Yeah, those.
these are Naruto.
Oh,
I got some Naruto, a little bit of Tokyo Ghoul, Blue Exorcist, and then Yu-Gi-Oh because I'm a absolute slut for the original Yu-Gi-Oh. It's my favorite thing.
man, I remember when I was a kid, and I remember looking at the golden spiky hair guy from Yu-Gi-Oh, and I thought this is cool. So I rented like the movie. He never showed up in that part of the in the movie I rented or whatever that was. I'm like, this is bullshit. So that's what
I love
I
it, man.
returned it. I was like, this is bullshit, man.
That's too
Come on.
bad. That's too bad.
But yeah, I've watched like Dragon Ball.
Yeah, dude, Dragon Ball's great.
Um,
Well, it's not the best thing ever, right? But it's very influential, very instrumental in making anime popular in the West, especially.
yeah, I watched like the abridged stuff, which I'll admit I might even like more than the actual Dragon Ball. But I do like Dragon Ball a lot.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's a lot of fun. Um, my favorite anime is probably Cowboy Bebop.
It's a good
Just
choice.
has everything I really love in media. So there
Bebop's
you go.
great.
It's just one of
I do
I don't know if you've ever had like a one of those like things that just feels perfectly made for you, but like Cowboy Bebop
yeah,
is that for me, you know.
respect. Yeah, it's very very. My only complaint is I just wanted more of the story, right? Like so much of it in the middle was like standalone,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, which is amazing, and every episode is awesome. I just like also I like the story, and
Uh-huh.
I just wanted a little bit more of that central story, but
Well, that's the thing though, because that's the whole theme is running away from the past.
well, you know what? That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
So, but I see what you mean. There's sometimes we're like, get back to the main plot,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Man, yeah, that was good. Good call on that one. I'm gonna have to rethink. I'm gonna have to rewatch it and kind of go in with that lens now.
Though there's some people who are like, yo, Samurai Champloo just freaking blows Cowboy Bebop out of the water. I'm like, okay, buddy, we'll see about that.
Yeah, I like Shampoo, but I like Bebop better for sure.
But I do want to watch Champloo at some point because I'm like, man,
It's good.
it's made by the
It's
same
still super
people who
fun.
did it. It can't be bad. Like,
Yeah. They're
can't
coming
be.
out with a new thing. Lazarus, I think it's called.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, I think it's what is his name?
Oh yeah, that
Watanabe.
reminds me that there's a place I go to called the Tower Theater, and they're gonna have a band play Cowboy Bebop, the music from Cowboy Bebop. I want to see that. I think that's the 21st. I'm gonna talk to
Hey,
my dad about that.
there
What?
are some. Rockio's a big anime fan, right?
Oh, is he? Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
yeah, so he's got Berserk references all through the series. He's got some Bebop references. In one of the novellas, particularly, there's a couple really good Bebop references. It's cool.
So Hadrian becomes a space cowboy for a little bit.
No,
Dang
but
it.
there's some other. Since you know Berserk, like you'll be able to pick things out as you go. Like that was super fun for me in a couple of the books. I was like, oh, I know where you got this from, and
No, it's kind of funny. Like the only thing I know about Sun Eater is there's a guy named Hadrian Marlowe, and he killed a star.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of weird aliens.
There's a lot of aliens. That's true.
It even gets like Lovecraftian at points. I'm like, okay,
Yes.
let's.
There's like book 2 is like there's some legit horror stuff in that book. It's like a gothic horror novel with a sci-fi thing wrapped around it. It's interesting. Yeah, I love that series, man.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, I need to get to that, but yeah, no, I do love Cowboy Bebop a lot. I'm just
Yeah, that whole era was so good. Like Outlaw Star, like
it's
stuff
one of
like
the
that.
like because I know people make fun of dubs a lot, but like man, the dub of Cowboy
Oh,
Bebop is
dude,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. Um,
I mean, also Spike Spiegel's just one of my favorite characters ever.
yeah,
He's
cool.
so freaking cool.
He's super cool. Yeah,
He's awesome. Like he'll literally like kick your ass while he's like asleep. Like, it's
yeah.
just
He's got a cigarette in his mouth,
yeah.
and he's just chilling.
I'm like, how do you move like that even when you freaking chain smoke like that?
Right?
I bet
Exactly.
like
Just eating, bell peppers and beef without the beef, and so he's malnourished too,
yeah,
right?
yeah. You gotta do it somehow, I guess. Speaking of that, you said you've done like some strongman stuff.
So I've done powerlifting and I've done bodybuilding,
Mm.
and I've done
I
some
was gonna say,
strongman
and don't
training.
take this the
But
wrong way. Like, you don't look that big though. Like,
yeah,
you look
so this
pretty.
is
You look pretty. Like, you look pretty normal. Like,
yeah,
you don't
this
look
is the
like
funny
you
thing.
don't look like Prime Arnie. You know?
Exactly, right. This is most people there's natural bodybuilding, which is what I do.
Oh,
And
okay.
then there's the, people taking steroids and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to do that. There's a lot of risks.
Yeah.
Bare minimum, it's going to shorten your lifespan, and it's not worth it. So the natural bodybuilders are basically when you're super lean and you're on stage and you're flexed, you look way bigger. And then in normal life, you just look like a normal dude. You
Okay.
know, it's pretty funny, but yeah.
I was
But yeah,
about to
it's
say
fun.
like I was gonna say like please don't take this the wrong way, but you do
No,
look
no, no, no.
relatively normal in comparison to like some other,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
swole guys on the internet.
All right. They're all taking drugs. No, I'm kidding.
No.
But I mean, some of them are. I mean, that's just how. Which is like no shade. Like that's whatever people want to do. Right? It's cool. But just not for me. I'm too risk averse.
Yeah, like I thought it was Tom Orange who did like the bodybuilding stuff, or
Yeah, he does.
maybe he also does it. Maybe you both do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I know he does strongman for sure. Um, which is strongman's tough, dude. I mean, it's. Have you ever seen like the competitions that they used to put on TV and that sort of thing, like World's Strongest Man?
I've seen like a little bit. I've seen like clips of it. Like I don't follow it like religiously.
Yeah, I certainly don't either. But it's a different animal, dude. Bodybuilding's hard because of the diet, but like the lifting itself is, like
Yeah,
it's hard,
I
but
watched
it's
a
not.
conversation you had with somebody. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was your Two to
Okay.
Ramble conversation that you had with
Okay.
those guys,
Yeah, maybe.
where you're like, bro, it was so hard doing that diet.
It's tough, dude. I mean, I'm a fan of carbs, and when you can't really eat those for a while, it's not the most fun. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, no, but yeah, I mean, I don't I did work out for a little bit, but I just stopped, and now I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'll just deal with what I got.
Hey, I get it, dude. It's
What I
definitely
got.
not for everybody. Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
it
I'll
is a
wait.
very, lifting weights a little bit is a very healthy thing to do. But I totally get if you don't like it, you don't like it.
No, I mean it was a thing. Like I liked it. I just kind of grew bored with it after a while.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
I was like, I'll just deal with it. I'm a little flubby. I'll be okay.
Yeah, dude. Again, life is short, right? You gotta
Yeah.
enjoy what you're doing.
I'm also risk averse, so I probably wouldn't be doing like strongman stuff anyway. So
Yeah, yeah. I don't really want to do that anymore.
um well what's next on your channel? We haven't really talked about a lot of your videos, but
Oh, I don't know, man. I think I'm really excited for. I have a lot of like buddy reads and read along and stuff that I'm doing, so like that's gonna be really fun just to talk to other. That's what I've learned, man. Is like making videos to talk about the books I'm reading or whatever. Like that's fun, but the by far the most fun thing is when you can talk to other people about the stuff that you're doing or that you
oh
like
yeah,
or
buddy
like
reads are
stuff like
fun.
this. Right? It's so fun, dude. So I'm looking forward to doing more of that. I think I mentioned earlier I'm looking forward to trying to doing some more new releases and just kind of be part of the conversation on those things. Um, I'd like to try to branch out a little bit more into some non-book stuff, but like very similar. Like we live streamed a D&D game.
Oh yeah, you
Uh,
guys did do that. I watched a little bit of that,
yeah,
but I had to get to
that
class,
was
so I didn't
super
catch all
fun.
of it.
Yeah, it was super fun. So I'd love to do more of that, or I'd
It
love
was
like
Sneaky Jason who turned into
yeah,
Snacky Jason.
yeah, exactly. So I'd love to do more of that, or like I'm trying to get back into playing video games a little bit, or like I love Magic the Gathering or anime stuff or whatever, just other. The reason my channel is called Nerd Level Rising is like it's not book whatever, right? Like I wanted to be able to talk about just any random nerdy stuff that I like. So I'd like to branch out a little bit and do some more of that kind of thing here this year, but we shall see how time permits.
Yeah, it's a good way of looking at it. I'm just going through life, man. I mean, for
Feel you.
me, I'm just doing all of my okay. Here's all I did in 2024, and I'm wrapping that all.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm gonna
That's
get
which is
to
fun to do. Yeah,
and then I'm gonna get into the stuff I'm wanting to get to, and
yeah.
like I have a new show called The Fate of Fantasy. I'd like to get started on soon, so we'll
Sounds
see how it
cool.
goes.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's exciting. That's always fun to look back at the last year or look ahead at some new stuff and um, coming up with new ideas like video series or whatever. Like that sounds cool, dude. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, like my most anticipated of 2025 was like a 50-minute video. I'm like, oh man, who's gonna watch
Oh
this?
yeah.
Like my my attention span is terrible. Yeah, but I got a lot of comments on it, so I'm like, okay, I guess they did
Cool.
something right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah,
No,
that's always fun.
but it's a grind, man.
Yeah,
But
but you
it's a
guys
good
gotta keep
grind.
it fun, dude.
I like
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if we, this ain't gonna, we're not gonna quit our day job and just do this YouTube thing full time, probably, right? So we got to keep it fun.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
I enjoy doing it, and I'll probably do more podcasts. Like
cool.
I've invited Vera. I've invited her
Nice.
because I'm like, you're 20 years old. Gotta talk to you because I'm like one of the youngest people on here. So I'm like,
Okay, yeah,
fellow young people have to represent. I don't know
yeah.
how old you are.
She's rad, dude. You'll have a blast talking to her. She's super cool.
I don't know how old you are. I would guess like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, I'm 31.
You're 31. Okay.
Yep.
I thought like 33 at most. So
Yeah, I'm kind of right in that middle
you're in
zone
that
of
cusp.
YouTubers. Yeah, yeah,
You're
exactly.
in the
Yep.
cusp.
I'm almost out of good days. You know.
Like 31's not that old.
No, no, it's not at all.
Like I'm gonna turn 24 in March, and I'm like, good
Yeah.
lord, I'm losing time. And my
Hey, man.
friends and family are like, dude, like you're 24, like you're fine.
Yeah, man. And you also think about, like medicine's just going to keep getting better. All this, our lifespans are probably going to keep getting a little bit, like on average, right? Keep getting a little bit longer. And you got a lot of life ahead of us, dude. A lot of good
Um,
books to read.
Indeed. You also do a little bit of writing. I've seen some of your like writing update videos you've
A little
done.
bit. Yeah.
I mean, what's that all about? Are you just kind of, are you just kind of toying around with it, or are you doing something like?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to find the time, man. That's the biggest thing. I've been trying to do it for years, and it's just so hard to find the time. Um, but I really do want to do something with it. I think what I sort of envision for myself is that's a one of 2 to 3 things that I do as my career. Like I don't want to just have like one thing that I'm doing because I'll get burned out. I just know myself. So I want to continue doing what I'm doing, um, with the whatever fitness industry stuff. I want to keep doing that, but then also have some writing stuff that I do as well. Is kind of what I envision. And now the trick is, can I actually be good enough at that it can make at least a little bit of money? Slash, do I actually enjoy it when I have the time to do it more? So to be determined, but I'm certainly interested. I've wanted to do it since like 5th grade or something.
It's always good to
We'll
try
see.
things.
It's always good to try things. That's true.
I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then I read The Great Gatsby, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna do this writing thing. I
That's
want to
awesome. For
write
me,
something like that.
that's cool. It was Aragon for me. Is what kind of
Aragon,
planted
yes,
planted the seed. Yeah.
that's it's always fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. That's another one where a lot of people just are like, "What, Aragon?" Okay, Impressive he wrote that when he was like 14, though, I guess. So
Right, like that's the thing, you know.
I guess that's cool.
Yeah,
He seems like a cool guy. Like
he does. Yeah, he does seem cool.
But yeah. Well, I hate to let you go because I've been enjoying this conversation, but I am getting pretty hungry. So I'd like to get something
Go
to
get some
eat
snacks, man.
before too long.
Yes,
But
I feel you.
thanks for hanging out with me for a bit.
Of course.
Oh, sorry. Were you gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna say thanks for having me on. This is I love hanging out with people, dude, and just talking about this. You know, talk about this stuff. It's always fun. So I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, it was fun. As I like to do before I end these things, if you have any social media, feel free to share.
Yeah, I guess my it's my I have an Instagram that's the same name as the channel. If you just search Nerd Level Rising, it should hopefully pop up. But I don't do a ton on there. I just post pictures of books. I don't know. It's pretty chill. But if you want to see a nice picture of a book as you scroll, then there you go.
Yeah. Sorry, that just hit
About
me all of a
bedtime,
sudden.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, I woke up like at 9:30 this morning.
Day's half over by then.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, that's what the
That's what the oldies say.
No, but seriously though, thank you for coming on, and I hope everyone enjoyed this. And until next time, but yeah, all right.